got a sick-ass thing.
The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Kyle, we're going to need a plunger for this one.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey. Welcome to the postcast here on Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, sports reporter for Daily Hive, joined by my co-host, Kyle Bhawan, coming to you after another loss against the Buffalo Sabres. And Kyle, I know this is the postcast, but nowadays in Canuck land, it isn't so much about the wins and losses, it's about what's going on around the team. And once again, after the game, Quinn Hughes and Adam Foote talked about the noise surrounding this team, how it's affecting them on the ice. I guess, maybe my first question for you, is it even fair to say that the noise affected them on the ice tonight? Because they largely did outplay the Buffalo Sabres.
Nope, not at all. Talent did, and that's life as a Vancouver Canucks fan. And Trevor, nobody wants to break down the game tonight. Nobody wants to do it. Let's just keep hammering down philosophy, assumption, and feeling, okay? And my first question to you is it going to happen this weekend? Quinn Hughes to the New Jersey Devils. No, for real. Like, how ironic is it that they play New Jersey next? And if I'm Aquilini or if I'm Alvin and Rutherford, maybe Aquilini needs to go on this trip too. You go over to New Jersey, you wine and dine Fitzgerald. Who owns the New Jersey Devils? Patrick Iliash? Lou Lamoriello? Anyways, wine and dine them. I'm not saying anyone has to get drunk and stupid, but wine and dine them if you know what I'm saying. And get it done. Get the most. See what can happen, because the irony. We just lost to the Buffalo Sabres, and now we're playing the Devils next. And Quinn Hughes is majorly on the block. And once again, Trevor, you and Farhan, you guys asked Quinn the question. He still can't answer the question that says he's staying. And he can't even muster up the sentence, I want to be in Vancouver. I want to stay here. He can't say that. He's got a year and a half left in his contract. And, even in yesterday's CTV interview, he hides behind, quote unquote, big quote unquote, legality by saying, I can't even sign a contract until July 1st. Dude, it's over. It's over. And I just wonder, Trevor, conspiracy theory, let's throw it out there. Can they get a deal done this weekend?
Can they get a deal done this weekend? There's always a chance. So you're saying there's a chance, man. I'm telling you, there's pretty much zero chance they're going to deal done this weekend. Like, this isn't a trade that's going to happen overnight. Like, I really do think this is something that potentially gets done before the trade deadline, but I don't see it happening before the Canucks play the New Jersey Devils. And look, this was discussed in Media Row tonight. I'm not going to lie. One guy brought it up saying, maybe they should just trade Quinn before the game against the Devils. They're already going to be there. Like, just get it done. I'm telling you right now, I would be flabbergasted if that happened. And look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Every Dayers know the Canucks shouldn't just trade Quinn Hughes to the New Jersey Devils just because that's where you want to go. I mean, they have to do what's best for the franchise. This is one of the biggest deals, if not the biggest potential deal in Canucks franchise history. We don't even know if this management team is going to be the one making this deal. We talked about that earlier on today's episode of Locked On Canucks. But yeah, in terms of Quinn Hughes talking about the noise, he had some interesting quotes post-game. I mean, there was one where he said, he said, quote, I'm obviously human and I feel stuff. But for me, I feel more the results of where we are in the standings.
All right.
And then when I asked him the question about, is there anything that he can do as a leader? I think that what stood out to me most, he's like, you watch me play. And look, Kyle,
Beggsy, I like it, dude. Beggsy going in there. I love it, Beggsy. You asking the tough questions, man. And at the end of the day, like, he is, I would say, half right. Okay. Quinn Hughes has never been a vocal leader. And again, prior to this year, I feel as if I've never really needed him to be that guy. With all this noise, it's pretty obvious that Quinn Hughes is trying his ass off still. He always does. That's his motor. That's in his competitive nature. That's in his DNA. Again, he's doing whatever it takes. So he's not lying to the people and Trevor Beggs when he says, look at me, look at the way I'm playing. I'm doing whatever it takes. That being said, it's Christmas. It's the holidays. You got a year and a half left on your contract. Would it kill you to say, I want to stay in Vancouver? And he can't even, I guess he's super honest, even though he wants to join the Illuminati and the New Jersey Devils. But Like, you can't even say, I want to stay in Vancouver, or like, I've loved my time, or just, I want to focus on winning games here. Like, I want to go down with the ship, or I want to like fix it. Dude, it's interesting. Like, a year and a half out of free agency, and he's moving like this, where it's like the hardest. It's like being the first one to tell your crush that you like them, like you kind of waiting, like, or you're just hesitant, or just, again, I don't know, like maybe, again, he doesn't like lying, but it's ironic how he's had multiple opportunities just to say, like, I want to be in Vancouver, or like, I love it here in Vancouver. He doesn't even have to say, I want to stay here. Like, I love it in Vancouver. I love the fans. I love this team. Dude, he can't even stomach saying that. And again, it is borderline sad. Like, if you want to talk about the game today just a little bit, I mean, you were there. I know Quinn Hughes just takes a lot of shots from the point, and like a lot of them miss the net or get blocked, and sometimes it can get annoying. But I feel as if we're nitpicking, because as a hockey player, individually speaking, like, to me personally, nights like tonight are gonna make me miss him so much. And I said it earlier that like with or without Quinn Hughes, like, fans are already not going to the game. I'm not sure if he's like, I got to buy a ticket to see like one of the best athletes in the world type of like athlete right now. But at the end of the day, it's like, if anyone offered me free tickets to go to the Canuck game right now, and if Quinn Hughes was still employed to be a Vancouver Canuck, and all it would take me was like 25 minutes to go down the road and watch Quinn Hughes play, because I just love sports and I love like elite athletes, I'm still doing it, because he's so damn good. And again, tonight's another night where as a Canucks fan, like, you kind of get hurt, even though you're looking forward for the future. But again, you're hurt a little because, like, he is one of a kind, man. He's one of a kind. If he had a little bit of help, the Canucks are in a playoff spot this year. Like, he's still so damn good.
Yeah, and look, I'll be honest with you. Like, one of the questions that I've thought about asking Quinn Hughes is like, you do still have the desire to be a Vancouver Canuck? And I'll admit, I find that hard to ask after a game in which he played pretty damn well. Like, if you want to talk about go to the game, like, I would say my go to the game was probably Quinn Hughes. Like, out there wheeling it. Like, there's some plays too where he's, a little late on the back check, which is uncharacteristic for him. He had one play too where he had an open guy to break into the offensive zone. I think it was Evander Kane, and he just kind of missed him and dumped it in. Yeah. Like, there are plays that are uncharacteristic, but most nights, and today was one of those nights where he's still the best player on the ice for this team.
Okay. Speaking of being uncharacteristic, because I didn't notice a couple of those plays too. Like, again, he's only human, and he's like, again, he can't even say he wants to stay in Vancouver. Of course, he's checked out. Like, of course, there's like frustrations within Quinn Hughes' game, but also there's a little bit of like, what's the point? This is all going to end. But look at this. This is right after the game. Right after the game, before he gets interviewed by Trevor Beggs and the other media members, Quinn Hughes has to share this on his story, because I guarantee this guy's going to Yaletown. This is the bat signal. He's telling all, like, I don't know if this guy's got a girlfriend or anything, but he's posted on his story, a fashionista type photo, because, again, he's going on the road. This might be the last night in Vancouver for Quinn Hughes. He's in Yaletown right now, probably. I don't know. Hey, maybe shooting a shot, doing this thing, because, again, they're going on the road. They're going to New Jersey. They're not back till Christmas. Everyone's saying like post-Christmas. Everyone's talking about the Christmas freeze. I don't know. I feel like the trade could happen ASAP. And if you want to talk about uncharacteristic, when is Quinn Hughes on his phone? Well, 2 minutes after the game, posted on his Instagram. Like, I'm telling you, I feel like, and I'm not judging him. I'm just saying something's hitting me. Again, we just lost to the Sabres in the toilet bowl. I'm telling you, this was a sayonara. Like, I feel like it's over. I feel like Quinn Hughes just played his last game in Vancouver. And dude, the bat signal that he just posted on his Instagram, and also the jersey on the ice. Like, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy time to be a Canucks fan. And you haven't even, again, you want to break down the game? Sure, go ahead, take it away, Trevor. But jersey thrown on the ice. Happy holidays. 31 games into the season. I'm not judging, but dude, poetic. It feels like a poetic night to be a Canucks fan. This was something.
Yeah, Kyle, we're recording this from Yaletown right now. We can hear the parties going on here, the Christmas parties. We might have to go check. We might have to go wander the streets afterwards to see if Quinn Hughes is out there partying right now. Do some real reporting here on Locked On Canucks. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Quinn Hughes has played his last game in Rogers Arena? I refuse to believe it. Kyle thinks it's the case. Let us know in the comments. We'll read a couple comments as we wrap up here on Locked On Canucks. We'll be back on the other side to get some of your comments. And I'll show up my tank commander of the game coming up here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the show, baby, let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel. And man, oh man, FanDuel, they got it right on this one. They said that coming into the game, the Vancouver Canucks were the were the underdogs against the lowly Buffalo Sabres. And man, oh man, FanDuel, they were onto something on that one. But if you're on FanDuel, go check them out. And, NFL season's in full swing. And at least the NFL is making me happy right now as a fan of the Vancouver Canucks. The Seattle Seahawks, they're doing some good things, man. I'm still waiting, man. The playoff game, man. We gonna fight, Kyle, or what? And the Seahawks and Green Bay Packers in the playoffs.
I'm gonna kick your ass, and your wife's gonna hate me. That's a good one.
Kyle could actually kick my ass. He's that's true. No, you're too nice of a guy.
You got the dad strength, though.
Yeah, Kyle actually works out there. I think that's what matters more than dad strength. For as much as people talk about dad strength, you have Kevin Lankin with a newborn baby out there. He's not playing great. I mean, look, there's dad strength. There's also just being tired AF. But whether you're tired, whether you're wired, go check out FanDuel on FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app today. All right, before we get back to it, let's shout out our friends over at Monarch Money. Kyle, how has Monarch Money been helping your life out, man?
Well, I actually have a financial advisory meeting with my girlfriend in late January. I'm pretty intimidated. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to show some stats because I guess, is this a prerequisite for entering year 5 in a relationship? You got to, probably, right? She's being mama bear. We don't even have kids yet. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I should download Monarch Money tomorrow.
Yeah, you should, man. I mean, look, this is what financial advisors are for. This is what Monarch Money's for. They're here to ease your stress, man, okay? Keep your accounts in check, curtail that spending, some of that needless spending. And you can even link your account with your partners, okay? That's what's helping me ease my stress, man. You hear me talk all the time about, because I use Monarch Money, I last 43 seconds longer in the sack, okay? That makes a difference when you can only last about 97 seconds in general. So shout out to Monarch Money. They're doing the most. Not only that, but they were voted by Wall Street Journal as the best budgeting app of 2025. Boom, bam. Shout out to Monarch Money. Go check out Monarch Money and use code LOCKEDONNHL for 50% off your first year. Go check them out on monarch.com and use code LOCKEDONNHL. All right. We're back here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day and, of course, every night, coming to you on the postcast after the toilet bowl, which the Canucks lost, by the way, 3-2 to the Buffalo Sabres. And look, Kyle, it was, again, one of those games that it ended an incredible streak, right? The Buffalo Sabres, for those who don't know, and I think a lot of people do know, they hadn't won a road game in regulation since March of last year. They'd gone 17 games, 3-11-3 without winning a game on the road in regulation. They do so tonight against the Vancouver Canucks. And Kyle, maybe like you said, it might signal the end of Quinn Hughes in Vancouver.
Maybe, probably. Again, no judgment. I see his Instagram story. I see again this guy being asked multiple times about the noise, and he's doing nothing to shut it up. So truth be told, I really think that was the last game he played at Rogers Arena. And that's life, man. That's life as a Canucks fan. And it's one of those things, Trevor. I feel like if we actually run into Quinn Hughes in Yaletown right now, obviously we're not going to go up to him and say anything because, it's not that deep and we have too much respect. And
No, I'd wish him the best, man.
No, that's what I was about to say.
Off the record, it's a bit different.
Internally, I would just again, leave him alone because I feel as if he deserves, again, hasn't won us a lot of hockey games. But based on his effort, again, a couple times in the last couple of weeks, there's a couple plays where he kind of checks out. But outside of all of that, 30 minutes a game, trying his ass off, and how long has he been a Canuck for? 450 plus games or whatever the number is. I just feel as if he did try his best. And you want him to be more vocal and you want him to be a better leader. But at the end of the day, he's still only 26. He has a lot to learn. And let's be honest, for a young guy, he's still a young guy. Vancouver in this organization, and not because of the fan base and the media, but just in general, the lack of success makes this a hard place to learn how to be a leader. And manage all this stuff, because there's not enough balance of like success versus non-success for him to kind of like catch a break, like it's a depressing thing to do. And that's like be a competitor and always lose games. And again, I've been ridiculing Quinn a lot over the last couple of days, but it really feels like the end. And at the end of the day, he is only human. And I hope we get the most for him, and wish him the best. I just wish him the best. And we're playing New Jersey on Sunday. We're in New Jersey. Come on. Like that would be a sexy move for the Devils too. Like just make the trade. And what are the chances? The first game we play against Quinn Hughes is this Sunday. Like, I don't know. Just like, let's do something.
I hope it doesn't happen because, Sunday is my day off. I'm a Tuesday to Saturday guy here at Daily Hive, and Sunday's the day off. And look, I'm probably going to miss that game live because I got, kids gymnastics, and like I said, I'm the second best dad in the world. But if Quinn Hughes gets traded to the New Jersey Devils and that's his first game against the Canucks, sorry, kids. Yeah. Daddy's got to stay home and watch the Canuck game. Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
You're calling your daughter an Uber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good luck. Your 5-year-old in Uber by herself. What could go wrong? Okay, a couple more minutes here on Locked On Canucks. Not going to do report cards, but I will shout out a GOAT and tank commander of the game. All right, I know I said in the first segment that Quinn Hughes is my go to the game, but I do want to focus on the center ice position for a second here. In terms of the ice time tonight, do you know who your first line center for the Vancouver Canucks was?
Sasson?
Yeah, Max Sasson. Max Sasson led all Canucks forwards in terms of total minutes with 14:46 on the night. Dominated in terms of possession as well, in all situations on the ice for 81% of shot attempts, 34-7 against. David Kampf would be my tank commander of the game. Yeah. The puck just dies on the stick whenever he's in the offensive zone. Yeah. He wins a bunch of faceoffs, don't get me wrong, but you just don't notice him doing anything else out there at all. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of happy to see his minutes get limited tonight, but he's still, in terms of ice time, the second line center on the Vancouver Canucks, which, when you look at it that way, it's no surprise that this team is last in the NHL, no matter who they have on defense, even if they have Quinn Hughes on defense. Yeah. Because, man, oh, man, Max Sasson, David Kampf, Drew O'Connor, and Aatu Ratu as your four centers, you are not going to win a lot of games that way.
I mean, who does David Kampf remind you of?
A shittier Teddy Bluger.
I think that's disrespectful to Teddy Bluger. No, real talk. Like, this guy doesn't do anything. Like, he's just there. Honestly speaking, great question. Who's better, Neil Zaman or David Kampf? I would say Neil Zaman.
Yeah, probably Neil Zaman. But that's really saying something, man, honestly. David Kampf is a safe player. There's not a lot of gaffes defensively. But, man, oh, man, he's chasing the game out there. He really is. And every time there was a play, again, I'm looking at it right above. He has the puck in the offensive zone. And he just loses it, man. The puck's not on his stick for very long. And he'll try to make a move. He'll try to make a pass. And every time the play dies on his stick. I mean, if you want this team to tank, you want David Kampf playing minutes for this hockey team, Kyle.
Yeah, I guess so. And I wonder if, if we actually do finish, last this year, if we can, trace ourselves back through, the timeline of this year and actually confirm that this was all planned. Right? If this, because on one end, how desperate were they to keep Quinn Hughes when they seem reluctant to trade Mancini and Lekkermaki in a first round pick this year to impress them or something, to get a center, or just anything, right? I feel like they've done the bare minimum, and maybe because it's impossible to make a trade, but a part of me is just internally, I think from management's position, they've confirmed that they can't do it with any member of this. They need to a fresh reset. And we talked about this on today's show. I feel like Aquilini's getting in the way, but I feel like Rutherford and Alvin are just ready to move on. And I know a lot of people are scared of them making the choices here because of the 4 years they've had with this organization and how we're now last place. But I don't know. There's still a part of me that kind of trusts them to do some large overhauling. And I know it's scary because they made the Miller trade and then they traded a first round pick for Pettersson. And it's you don't want to see them do that same thing here. There's a fear that if they trade Quinn Hughes, they're going to immediately trade what they get for somebody else. But I think they learned their lesson. I think they learned their lesson, man. Because if they were in win now mode and so desperate to win this season, like we would have gotten they would have traded for Marco Rossi, no? Like they would have done it. They haven't done it. Like I think it's over. I just think it's over, and to be honest, like it has to be over because we've been nice to Quinn Hughes this whole episode, but the fact of the matter is, if he was a better leader vocally and able to like ignite the boys, and again, it's quite obvious he can't ignite the boys because look at the way he's moving right now. Like he's not a comrade, right? Like when the game's on, he's a comrade, but when the game's done, he's not a comrade. Like he's not one of those like leader alpha types. And I think the organization knows that, and he doesn't have any support, and it's just like time to blow it up. Time to blow it up. Like I think they knew like in October, in the middle of October, that their coach kind of sucked and they didn't have the makeup to even be desperate. It's just, there's just no point. And I want to give credit to the organization here. Like they didn't trade Willander. And now we're about to lose Hughes. Like we talked about this over the summer. Like you kind of have to hold on to these guys until Quinn Hughes is staying for sure or leaving, because defensive, if you're going to lose a defenseman, you want to make sure you still have some solid guys there. And I want to bring Willander up. Like you were there at the rink again today. The Canucks played a solid game defensively the whole way through. And I wonder what you thought about Tom Willander today, because for the rest of the season, I feel like he's the guy. Like we need to make a Tom Willander report. Like screw the report cards. Like every game we got to talk about Tom Willander and see how he's doing, because he's the future.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to point out first and foremost that we kind of saw the defense pairs that we were hoping to see, right? It was Hughes, Hronek, it was Marcus Pettersson, Tom Willander, it was DPD and Tyler Myers, right?
We've seen that for a while, and look how much better we're playing. We're playing Tyler Myers less, and it feels like we're playing better. A little bit less, or we're kind of spreading it out.
A little bit less. Tyler Myers tonight still at 20 minutes overall. Marcus Pettersson was actually down at 17, 25.
Okay, one or the other. One of them is getting so it's kind of evening out. Like to be honest, I'm a more of a Marcus Pettersson fan than Tyler Myers, but this year they've played at the same level.
Yeah.
So,
and I think a big reason why Tyler Myers' minutes didn't get limited compared to Marcus Pettersson is because Quinn Hughes on the left side played 30 minutes, right? Philip Hronek played 23, 33 overall. Tom Willander tonight, I thought he was fine for the most part. He did have one play, it was in the first period, where him and R.C. Baines like both went to the guy at the point, and I'm like, Tom Willander, what are you doing? Why are you going to the point to get that guy? It was just a messy play, but look, he's a rookie in the NHL. He's going to make mistakes, and he's shown us for the most part that he's definitely ahead of where we thought he would be.
Yeah.
So again, there we go. A bit of positivity. Let's throw it to the commenters and see if they're feeling positive before we wrap up here on Locked On Canucks. Speaking of positivity, man, nothing is perfect, man. Go check this guy out on YouTube saying the Canucks are still making the playoffs. My God. The positivity from Russ over there. Look at that, man. I don't believe it. I don't share the same optimism as you, Russ, but I'm happy to hear there's still Canuck fans believing.
We can't make the playoffs. We're not like dude, trust me, like I'm open to be proven wrong, but the captain of the Vancouver Canucks, who's arguably one of the best players in the league, like I feel like he doesn't even want to win. Like even when he's talking about what Trevor asked him, what can you do as a leader to like water down the noise, and what does he do? We give him kudos for like admitting that he's doing the most, but he keeps giving us answers. I'm doing the most. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't even say though. Like there's no belief from the captain that this team can get it done. Like it's over. This season's over.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I didn't really think about that before, but there has been just a lot of answers with Quinn Hughes talking about the noise surrounding him and his situation. Steve Wong in the comments saying Hughes will sign for a few more years. I mean, look at that for positivity, man. Some Canuck fans still believing. Others like Andrew Ong saying, why would he want to stay in Vancouver? This team sucks. And all this team had to do to keep him was be good, yet we are bad. And I think that's the gist of it right there, Kyle. The Canucks had one mission heading into the season. They chose to have Adam Foote at the helm of it. And here we are with one of the worst defensive teams in hockey and a team that is last overall in the NHL. And not just last, like tied for last or last in points percentage. No, they are 3 points clear of last spot in the NHL right now.
What a time to be alive, man. I mean, yeah. And I know, I guess like we have to start doing a scouting report on these guys that we could possibly draft. But I think it's important to note that since Rutherford and Alvin got here, like they've made such big moves, but at the same time, they inherited a bad team already, right? Like a lottery team, right? A quote unquote lottery team. And when they were tanking for Bedard with Boudreau, again, Alvin, you know what? Alvin and Rutherford, I gave them some benefit of the doubt like a couple minutes ago, but remember how they handled the Boudreaux situation? They were kind of forced to like make the change ASAP and bring Tocchet in. And what did that do? They gave us a coach's bump and it knocked us out of the Bedard sweepstakes, right? And it worked for one season because we made the playoffs the year after. But like looking back at it, it's like the team and Rutherford now being inherited a horrible situation with Benning and co. And not once since then. Like we've had to wait 4 years to be a lottery team again, and we missed out on Bedard, Celebrini, and Matthew Schaefer. And I'll bring that up again. Like we missed out on Matthew Schaefer. This organization was like, let's try to make the playoffs last year. Let's not trade Besser and let's not trade Suter. And to be honest, I think there's a lot of BS from Alvin last year when he was like, you should have seen the offers for Besser. I just think they didn't want to trade him. They want to double down and make the playoffs, right? Aquilini was probably like, dude, like we're 2 points out of a spot. You're not trading your UFAs. Like we need to make the playoffs. Aquilini's probably so happy somebody threw a effing jersey on the ice so he can go sell that and make some money back. For real. It's a disgrace. But again, the Canucks lost on a Bedard, Celebrini, and Matthew Schaefer. And supposedly this, what's his name? Stenberg? Ivan, what's his name?
Ivan Stenberg's one of the top picks.
Peter Forsberg, a.k.a. I'm comparing him already, Peter Forsberg, and Gavin McKenna, and Keegan Vershall. Did I say that right?
Keegan Verhoff.
Verhoff. There you go, man. Same thing. Boom, bam, bada bing, tomato, potato. Anyways, this is our chance to still get one of those guys, you know? Like, I feel like the Canucks missed out. Schaefer, Celebrini, and Bedard, and there was a lot of hype around McKenna. And now Stenberg's ripping it up with these, like, record-breaking SHL numbers. Like, let's make sure we get one of those guys.
Yeah, and I saw a comment as well about how the Canucks will finish last and still draft 5th overall. I mean, thankfully with the new lottery rules, if they are last, they can draft no lower than 3rd overall. So they would be guaranteed one of those guys if they can stay in last place. I still have my doubts with the Demko bump if he does stay healthy, because he will get on a roll at some point. That's just the way it goes. Kyle, I wanted to ask you one more question before we got out of here on Locked On Canucks. First off, Carmen Graham in the comments saying Tocchet looks pretty smart for leaving for Philly. But people first Yukon asking, do you think we should get a new coach? I think you might have answered that already, but maybe touch on that before we get out of here.
Well, I saw reports today too from like, I don't know if they're confirmed or if I just saw like a BS like Frank Saravelli thing, but it's like the Canucks are still showing like, internally they still want to see if they can impress Quinn Hughes and bring other pieces in to like have.
Yeah, that was in the Hisha report. Yeah.
Okay, that was in the Hisha report, right? And I'm like, dude, like, they have one of the worst coaches in hockey. So, like, they would have to get new players and then also fire their head coach for Quinn to be impressed this season with 51 games left. Like, it's a lot of work, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you can bring in, like, win now players now and have Adam Foote and make up, like, the 10 points. I don't think that's the case. And to be honest, we like, historically speaking, like, you got to fire the coach to make the playoffs when you're this bad. Like, you need the coach's bump. And I just think that's just way too much work. Like, there's too many things going on. If this team was like made the playoffs 2 years in a row and then had a year like this with the head coach being this bad, then you kind of like do the whole like bring in Chris Knobloch or whatever, like the Oilers did when they fired their coach that got them in the playoffs year in and year out. But This time around, it's like just too much work. Let us tank. Who cares, dude? This guy's the greatest tank commander because I'll give him credit where it's like the team's been playing better over the last 2 or 3 weeks. But he's just arguably one of the worst coaches in hockey. Like, and that's a good thing right now. So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I did have one of those moments tonight where, as poor as Adam Foote has been compared to other coaches in the NHL, like this is his first time as a pro hockey coach, right?
No, of course.
At all. And for me, I don't see the point of bringing in a new coach. And not only is Adam Foote helping with the tank, and he might improve. But you might get the new coach bump. And like right now, Kyle, like, what does it really matter? Most of this core has gone through 4 head coaches. Like, Kyle, I thought about this, right? I covered the last Travis Green game. That was my first game on Press Row, December 4th, 2021. We have seen 4 coaches since then, right? Travis Green, Bruce Boudreau, Rick Tocchet, and Adam Foote. We've seen the coaching change happen before with this core on 3 separate occasions. Yeah. What's the point of doing it another time?
Imagine, like, obviously it's not working, bro. Like for example, I feel like both of us have probably had homies that have had like 4 girlfriends in the last 5 years, and they're kind of pucked up. They're going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like stability and loyalty and finding the right woman in your life. It just okay. Honestly, it always goes down to that, Trevor. And it sucks. So I can't get married until the Canucks win the Stanley Cup. So you can kind of see where all this stress comes from, right? Because I'm trying to move on with my life, but it's just, yeah. Sorry, baby.
There you go. You heard it first, Kyle's girlfriend. Kyle loves you, and he apologizes for being a Vancouver Canucks fan. Last comment to Alan Leclerc. He prefers us in the same room. We should drop the gloves. Come to Yaletown. You might see that happen. That was another episode of Locked On Canucks. If you like what we're doing, make sure you share the episode with a friend on YouTube. Hit the goddamn like button. You can also subscribe to the show. It helps us out a lot on the podcast side. Go follow us. Leave a 5-star review. The Canucks might be in the toilet, but we still got you covered here on Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.